Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2026. I cannot believe that 26 years ago, they told us we were going to die when it hit 12 o'clock. Because I know I'm aging myself, but I don't care. We're still here, y'all. And yeah, life is a little crazy, but you know what? We're still alive. So there is still hope. Now, I want to welcome everybody to 2026, but I want to do a very special welcome back to everybody's favorite Deputy FBI Director, Dan Bongino. Now, I'm going to call you that because of how you're acting. And when you act as though you have that, I'm going to go ahead and call you that. But I also think that he would do much better introducing himself. So I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Bongina over here introduce himself. And of course, I need to share my screen, and I'm horrible at that. So, 1 second here while I pull that up. Where are you at? Where are you at? What's the name of this? This is me live streaming every single time. What is the title of this? Josh? Ah, there we go. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and just let Dan Bongino over here introduce himself. And yet you are not allowing me to do it. Bam. All right. Thank you for waiting on that. But let's go ahead and watch Mr. Bongino introduce himself back after 1 year of a, let's say, not impressive stint at the FBI.
This is Karate Man. Double leg. The jump kick. The side kick. The roundhouse.
The loser.
The tie kick.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Body.
What drugs did they give this man? Oh my Lord. I'm sorry. It's funny. I mean, he's been on a rampage, and I'm not going to get into it because I don't think Bongino's that significant. I think that he's destroyed himself with his inability to do anything. And the joke of I feel like the joke of him at this point is every time he threatens people, this is the meme that everybody shows, because let's be honest, we can laugh about it, and I refuse to go into 2026 angry and like cursing the entire time I'm on the air. If you look at all my earlier videos, that's what it was. I'm making a goal this year to be more focused and not so angry. I mean, it's easy to be angry, right? It actually is a lot easier to be angry for me. That's like my natural state, to be more reflective and introspective and trying to communicate things in a way that doesn't put everybody off, because the reality is that we are at such a dangerous inflection point in this country. And if we, the people, cannot get together and we cannot unite ourselves, I don't see us having a country in the next 20 years. At least not a country that we're going to be proud of, or a country that serves the majority. The way it's going, 5% of this world are going to be living like gods, and the rest of us are going to be their slaves. So I think that we're really at a dangerous point. And it's important that we cut this crap out with like allegiances. So Dan Bongino, one of the most lackluster people I have ever seen go into government, because this man has now stepped down crying about how his wife needs him. You know, I would love if my husband was the FBI deputy director. Don't come home until you get every single pedophile out of our government. But instead, you've done nothing. You did zero. So all that time apart from your spouse, and you've literally accomplished absolutely nothing. Except now you're going to go back to the podcaster world, and you're going to call out all of us black pill conservatives who actually want this country to serve the people and not the overlords, the lizard people, the demons. Okay, we don't want that. But apparently, Dan Bongino thinks that we're black pillars. I will take every black pill to avoid whatever the drugs this man is on because this is karate. This is karate.
This is karate.
This is karate. I'm sorry.
Double leg.
But
The jump
starting
kick.
with one award, I
The
want to go
side
over
kick.
to another one. A wonderful article was released that highlighted the top 10 traitors within our government. And I don't know about y'all, but I really do love to see my elected officials enriching themselves while serving office and overseeing these boards of the companies where they then get to insider trade. Now, my girl Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading, but Pelosi's still out there eating the souls of children so that she cannot look like she's 300 years old. So I'm not understanding that. But again, it's the American dream, right? I elect a senator or a congressperson so that they can do right by the community that put them in office, and they turn around and enrich themselves and sell their soul to foreign countries, get us involved in wars and trade deals that do not benefit the people, but they're rich. So of course, that's great. It's called the American dream, y'all. Caw, caw. It's a bald eagle American dream. Enrich them. We get to work our butts off and not see any of it. And that's amazing. It's amazing. It's great. It's America. Red, white, and blue. So I do want to take a moment to celebrate the financial wisdom of 2026. Tell positive new era for CC in real time. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna celebrate things. Celebrate Dan Bongino coming back to the podcast world because we need him. We need more shills and grifters and government talking heads to continue to try to lie to us. But we got some other winners here. Let me go over these top 10 right here. Okay. Now, all of us know that Nancy Pelosi is the most prolific traitor in history. Man, who is better than her? Who has done a better job than her? Well, in 2025, I don't want an account with you, Benzinga. You're gonna block me every single time. Every time. I don't want a subscription. Damn it. And guys, this is where you're supposed to get screenshots of things. Oh, well, I could get it through here. All right. Since I can't get the whole article and I refuse to pay for it, I'm literally just a stay-at-home mom who wants to talk politics with strangers on the internet. Okay. Let's go number one. And what I like about this, y'all, is that see, when it comes to corruption and stock trading and enriching yourself off government knowledge and legislation that they pass, they can get on the same page. Everything is divided by party in this country, but stealing from the common people, corruption, and enriching yourself through the stock market, that is something that our government can align on and also support for insignificant countries that seem to own us, right? So, number one, let's go ahead and call out Tim Moore, North Carolina, 52% gains. Wow. Ted Cruz, everybody's favorite come mierda from the state of Texas, even though he was apparently born in Canada. I'm sorry, Canada, that Ted Cruz was born there. Honestly, I'd feel better if he's born in like Arkansas. Lisa McClain, another Republicans. Y'all are just you've really enjoyed Trumpy coming back into office, huh? So Lisa McClain, 37% gains. Pete Ricketts, another top 4 Republicans. Y'all are killing the game right now, man. Y'all are just so smart and good at trading stocks, huh? Lisa McClain, 37%. Pete Ricketts, 37% gains. Representative Thomas Suozzi from New York, Thug Life, 35%. He's a Democrat. Lisa Murkowski, who, by the way, has always done this. She's known for this. Republican. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hi, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was waiting for this list because I was actually hoping that you weren't a bottom feeder, a swamp creature, a cretin. a lizard woman. I was hoping that you cared about this country. But to see you in this list of the other corrupt lizard people, and you're also enriching yourself, I think we know why you stepped down. And I'm really grateful that Thomas Massey is not on this list because I just can't keep dealing with more and more people that are just performative and not actually genuine. Then we get Representative Shree Senator from Michigan. Then we have Senator Mitch McConnell. Nobody's surprised. Gobble gobble. Uh, 29% gains, and then Senator John Kennedy, and I believe Senator John Kennedy is the little spicy one. Um, this man has the funniest one-liners, I think, that you ever hear. Is it him? Yeah, it's spiciness. This man is hilarious. But, you know, yeah, this dude. So he's like the funniest, and he's not a Kennedy. So this is the guy I'm talking about.
Stupid. To invade Greenland.
We'll talk more about Greenland in a minute. It's a brief one. I'm not going to rant about every single thing that Trump has done since the new year started. I just wanted to have a first episode back. So top stock traders of 2025, we just want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of you for your blatant corruption. We want to thank all of you for continuing to enrich yourselves while you're serving office. I want to thank you for continuing to fuel what is coming in the future when we finally get control back of our government. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. God willing, it's something that we all get to live to see and bear the fruit of it because it's coming. It's coming. Now, what's interesting here is that again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she stepped down. In end of November under the guise of beefing with Trump because of the Epstein files and the healthcare situation, right? Now, because I see her on this list, to me, you're just another one of these demons pretending to give a crap. And remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been pretty for the most part, pretty inflammatory over the years. And she hasn't been in office for too long, but she's always been the one just, running her mouth. She's like a little chihuahua, like a little blonde chihuahua. And she stepped down, and it really seemed like she was just disappointed in Donald Trump and his very obvious betrayal of his agenda and the people that voted for him, especially the people that switched sides. I'm not talking about that 20 to 30% base of no offense, TDS, because to treat Donald Trump like a cult leader, like he is some righteous man, is deliberately ignoring the facts presented to you. You can say that you wanted him to run the country like a businessman, but to say that he's a moral person, most business people operate on the guise of what's best for the organization, not what's best for people. Government is supposed to operate on what's best for people, but both of them have very different goals. So comparing the two is to me kind of asinine. But the reality is that we are living in an all the world's a stage moment in human history. Every single time that you open social media or you turn on the news, you're not getting facts. You're being fed someone else's agenda. And most of us know this by now, but instead of becoming more discerning, we retreat into these echo chambers because they're comfortable, because they confirm our own beliefs and they make us feel comfortable with others that are echoing the same thing. But the truth shouldn't be comfortable. Shouldn't. Reality isn't curated. Reality is not supposed to be this giant psyop that we've been living in. I think I'm starting to believe my whole life, but at least going into the late 90s, it really started. So for me, it's stop following people's opinions blindly. I used to watch a lot of conservative podcasters, and then in the last kind of year or so, I started watching liberal, Democrat, they're different, progressive, and kind of watching a mix of it. And I do see that there's a massive divide in this country, but I do see for the most part that we have a common sense core that is dying to have a voice. because as of right now, only the far extremes are getting a place because it seems to be more for ratings and fear mongering than actually reassuring people that at the end of the day, good will prevail. Good will prevail. It has to. It has to. So you need to start questioning everything. You need to start doing your own research. Stop listening to the people that you've always trusted. Start maybe finding ways to not believe what they're saying because you need to break this comfort that you've built in your mind. It is hurting us. Now, because we're living in this time of like performative theater, we actually I want to introduce a lot of people to a term called a PSYOP, psychological operation. Now, this is something that I think has become the norm. Our country is so comfortable. uh, The citizens of this country seem to be so comfortable with the emotional ups and downs. It's like a toxic relationship. Um, but it seems that because we've said these people are lying, but those people are telling the truth, and you don't realize that everybody's lying and everybody's pushing their agenda, right? Now, I don't mean this in a foil hat type of way, but it is verifiable, right? It's documented, it's confirmed, and you have intelligence officials, government officials that have admitted to these psychological operations. Now, if we're going to survive the next decade with our brains intact, we need to start understanding and seeing how to spot them. Now, in the last 10 years alone, we've seen two really big psyops. And I'll also talk about in the last year. Okay. But first, in the last 10 years, we have seen um, Russia's poll plans. This was during the 2016 election. Now, that wasn't a rumor, that was actually a coordinated operation where fake patriots, fake activists, fake left, fake right accounts, these were all created just to push us into rage and division, right? And it's continued. Now they even organize protests on both sides of the same issue in real life. That's not free speech. That's a psychological operation that tearing a country apart from the inside. I would even go so far as to say Black Lives Matter were a psyop, especially the origins of Black Lives Matter. Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was not a police officer. So the whole premise of Black Lives Matter starting because of police brutality against blacks, it was not that was not the case in the case that actually made this organization blow up. An organization that never focused on black on black or inner city violence, an organization that only raised its head up. Reverend Jesse Jackson and Sharpton, they only lifted their heads up when it was white on black, never the opposite. So in that alone, you know that there is no real moral guidelines. There is no real goal in actually fixing anything. The goal, the goal was to divide. The goal was to enrage. The goal was to keep an already small and kind of underserved community almost hurting themselves because not once in those Black Lives Matter riots did you see them going into DC or going into the governor's mansion in any of the states, not into any of the wealthy neighborhoods. Instead, we burned down the inner cities. We made where we live harder to succeed at and succeed in for in the name of white killing us. That doesn't make sense. That to me was a psyop, especially when you saw ads all over the country, especially in liberal cities, advertising for paid anarchists. And then you get Antifa. How many of those buildings did you see with white Antifa, white skin breaking windows in the names of Black Lives Matter? It bred more hatred. The founders enriched themselves like crazy, and nobody has been arrested. Nobody. Patrice Cullors is still out there with her multiple mansions, and she's still free. And it should tell you that was probably a psychological operation set by our government to continue to keep us divided so they can continue to grift and steal from us. Mind you, we're all still fighting. So, a third psychological operation would be in 2022, social platforms caught and shut down a network of fake accounts linked to the US military. These accounts posed as regular people and independent media while quietly pushing pro-US, anti-Russia, anti-China, anti-Iran messaging overseas. That is, by definition, a covert influence campaign. Now, also add to the fact that you have massive campaigns, you have massive bot farms, you also have a Hollywood. The CIA has influenced the way movies are made so that we, American citizens, to being okay with this industrial military. And it is enslaving us to the level of debt that we have at this point, and we will continue to accumulate because this government has no goals in stopping war. They have no goals in curtailing how much these demons can enrich themselves. They will continue to enrich us until either we're all dead or we finally grab them and drag them out. Or, God, please save all of our souls from having to, and you show up in it. A psyop is not just this edgy word on the internet that you're hearing a lot now. It's unfortunately the world that we're living in. So if a narrative suddenly appears everywhere at once, every single one of your influencers, you're conservative, I guarantee you're following Jack Posobiec, please don't follow loony ass Laura Loomer. But if you are following people, you're going to notice they post the same thing. Now you got 24 USA and on that under Colvet and all of those evil people, right? So you have them all pushing this grift, pushing this. People are like, oh my God, everybody's saying the same thing. It must be right. It must be right. It must be right. No, it's a psychological operation. It's the same as COVID and the vaccine. If you didn't get this vaccine, you had the same friends, the same people that were telling you my body, my choice. They were literally telling you, you don't get a jab, you can't be around us. Psychological operations. They almost make you forget who you are. But watch a quick video here just to break down a little bit more about what a psychological operation is. It's about 3 minutes, so bear with me.
If you're in the middle of a psychological operation,
I would just assume 24/7 that we are. But let's go into the details. But
what are the signs that something is a psychological operation specifically?
So narrative sticking points. So matching narrative is number one. And matching narrative means that I'm hearing pretty much the same messaging from media outlets, celebrity influencers, which is number two, and authority. So people that are in a position of social authority, not like cops and lawyers, and judges, but people in social authority, like pop singers. And I won't say any names, pop singers, the most popular pop singers, all saying the same shit on social media. That should terrify you to the deepest part of your core that none of this is real, or none of this is what it seems like. And those are the first two. Number three is if you're seeing people silenced or ostracized for disagreeing with an idea. We saw this during the pandemic, like crazy. There were Harvard-educated medical doctors that were kicked off of social media, which is our greatest fear of human beings, is being ostracized socially. It's greater than death. This is why public speaking is rated higher by almost everybody than death. And it's not public speaking that we're afraid of. It's being out there and having a big idea and then getting rejected by a large crowd. That's what terrifies human beings. And you can leverage the shit out of that, especially when you can manufacture an artificial tribe on social media. So Harvard-educated doctors that disagreed with this mainstream narrative were getting banned. And
so remember that if a narrative suddenly appears out of nowhere and it's everywhere all at once, and you get the level of authority that these people speak with, they know. Ben Shapiro, he knew that you should get the COVID vaccine. He was told to get the COVID vaccine. He didn't give a shit about you. He gives a shit about the people that pay him, that keep him in power, that keep him feeling special, even though he's a rat, a weasel, a slimy worm. Actually, no, worms are like great for your soil. They like aerate it and they're phenomenal. So I'm sorry, bro. He's not a midget horse either. He's a weasel. He's just a rat, just a dirty rat. Now I feel bad. Never mind. I feel bad for rats now. I'm so sorry, but I have to call him something. So, anyways, guys, you're not just consuming content. You're not just reading your favorite newspaper. You're not just, following your favorite influencer. Get Find somebody right now that you do not agree with. Find 2 people that you do not agree with. Go follow them, okay? Notice the people that you're following and the people that you fundamentally don't agree with, and see how different narratives are when big things happen. We just had Venezuela's kidnapping. Start noticing that, okay? Start seeing things, because the psyops are very real, okay? The biggest lie that's told to us, period, is this whole left versus right. It's literally good versus evil. If you do not see that right now, I don't know how else to make it clear. I'm just gonna just keep beating this drum every single week, and I'm gonna pray to God that Americans wake up and that we get our country back. So the fact of the matter is that while we're all here fighting and hating each other and arguing, everything is rotten. Everything is rotten. Every institution, every governing body in the United States is completely corrupt. Keep talking about America first. Like, what does America first look like? America first looks like an outlining of every single industry that we have, every single public service, outlining the rot, outlining the corruption, removing it, finding laws, and getting legislative bodies in line with our view, and we make it so that it never happens again. Never happens. We abolish the Fed. We hold insurance companies accountable. We cap pay for all CEOs. I don't care how much money your company makes. You shouldn't be making 30% of your profits. Give your employees more money. Give them more bonuses. Stop hoarding wealth. Very few CEOs that I've worked with have I seen actually do anything besides smile for other CEOs and investment groups. I've been lucky to work with some phenomenal CEOs, but I've also worked with the other side of it, where it's just evil egomaniacs. And I've left those companies. That's not where I remain. Everything is rotten. When you think about it, political tribalism has turned us into monsters. I will be the first to admit it as well. When Paul Pelosi got beaten up or got attacked with that guy that broke in and hit him with the hammer, I laughed. I laughed because it sounded to me like a lover's quarrel, and to me, in my head, it was something that I could laugh about. Because his wife is obviously super corrupt and evil, and he, in his own way, being married to her and enriching himself, yeah, he's also corrupt and evil. But as an individual, as someone who doesn't know them personally, was that okay for me to be happy just because they're the side that I really dislike? Like, I'm an independent, but I'm registered currently as a conservative, as a Republican, so that I can vote in primaries, um, midterms. And I've always identified as an independent. I would consider myself progressive, but I don't grab on to a lot of fringe issues. And I align with it. I'm a person, I just literally have a wide range of opinions that don't fall into one bucket. But I really dislike the extreme fringe liberals. And I think that the Democratic Party has really embraced all of the things that are counterproductive to the entire country's progress and success. And they've just enriched themselves. Whereas the Republicans, and I say this almost every video, the Republicans have always been spineless, two-faced, fake Christians. That's it. They hide behind this religion so that people think that they're righteous and that they can get votes. But the way that they behave and the way they operate, especially now, how they laid down and just allowed Trump to steamroll them, all it tells me is that there's a lot of stuff on these people in the Epstein files, and that Trump's not releasing it because he's protecting people. He's also accepted $250 million from a foreign country that we're not allowed to talk about. But that $250 million, somehow Epstein was an agent for that country, and now their little bought and paid for puppet is protected. And we've seen pictures of Steve Bannon. We've seen pictures of Hakeem Jeffries. So this is going to go on both sides. This is not one group. This is not a Democrat hoax. But everything is not fixing anything. Insurance is still rotten. Our prison system is being made worse now with ICE and deportations and being able to hold people for weeks without any kind of legal representation. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, at what point did we start treating political violence as a punchline? And I know nobody's going to like me saying this, but I actually think the first time that I heard a punchline out of violence, Obama. I remember when Trayvon Martin was killed. It was a stupid George Zimmerman should be in prison. I don't believe it was self-defense because I don't think George Zimmerman should have been doing the most for no reason. And then on Trayvon's side, I don't think you should have been fighting somebody that in that moment had more authority than you did, as far as you were concerned. But for the president of the United States to come out and say that could have been my son and to immediately align himself, that wasn't what you were supposed to do. And then you get Trump, the mouth of all mouths, and I have a big mouth. And now we have a guy that just makes fun of people. I mean, Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered by their kid, and our president mocked him within 24 hours. And you didn't see conservatives over here in the streets rioting and protesting how disgusting their president is. No, you had people defending it. And I will say proudly, a lot of real conservatives and middle ground independents have completely chastised him and distanced themselves from him because it's obvious this man doesn't care about unity. He only cares about the people that are sycophantic licking his lips. So hate me because I can't even support that. I do not understand the cult following of this man because nothing that he's done justifies it. If the only thing Trump has done successfully this term so far is close the border down, it's not enough. It is not enough. That's crazy to me. He shut the border. Good job. The economy is not better. People are still being laid off with AI implementation. Data centers are being put up all over the country, and the actual residents have to pay what these trillion-dollar tech companies are able to cover themselves. It's peanuts to you. $80 additional on a struggling 4-person household is actually a lot of money. I know that's crazy, Bezos or Zuckerberg and all of you to see that, but it's actually crazy. But we're going to have to pay that, and that's not normal. And it's okay. And we have nobody in government right now fighting for us. We are fighting each other. Now, when the Minnesota lawmakers were murdered, conservatives were kind of hush-hush about it. Charlie Kirk gets unalived, and you have mocking. I got chastised. I actually had somebody that I like, that I think is a nice person, reach out to me and chastise me for publicly mourning the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. And I responded emotionally. It was not my best reaction, but it was mind-blowing to me that anybody would compare Charlie Kirk's impact in the world to George Floyd's impact. How are they comparable? How are they comparable? Are we both human? Yes. Are we both equal? Yes. Is our impact equal? No. In no world is it. When I die, my children, my family, my husband, if he outlives me, they'll mourn me and the people that I've impacted in my life. But when I die and Putin dies, Putin has had a much greater impact on the world than I have. I'm sorry. My ego doesn't hurt when I say that. That's just a fact. That's a reality. So to compare Charlie Kirk to George Floyd, I would argue that people made George Floyd into this messiah of sorts when really all we needed to do was talk about how evil Chauvin was, because nobody should have been treated the way he was, no matter what drugs he was on. I don't care what all of the theories. Chauvin smiling and getting joy out of what he did to that man, to me, was the problem. I wasn't looking at his skin color. I wasn't looking at anything else. I wasn't thinking about George Floyd being a drug addict or selling mixed CDs, whatever it is that he was accused of. I'm probably mixing up murder. I was upset at that. That's not how you handle something. The Minnesota lawmakers, we should have been upset about that too. I will say something. There's something going on in Minnesota. There's something so weird going on in Minnesota. One, Kamala Harris, why did you pick Tim Walz of all people to be your running mate? I want to know who told you to do that. Two, the whole Somali daycare scam and all of this and these people enriching themselves. They're a really interesting one I haven't gotten into, but again, that's Minnesota. Then you have these Minnesota lawmakers murdered. Not one, you had multiple people murdered in this state. Guys, I know more about Minnesota in the last year than in my entire life. And I really wonder what is going on in that state. What's going on in that state? It's so strange. And I will call out Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, you are the cutest little thing. I don't know why you're so adorable, but you are adorable. And you're spicy. And I love that. But going in front of people and telling them that you are elected to represent Somalis, you should resign. I'm sorry. I would never become a senator or congressperson and get in front of my constituents and say that I'm here to represent Dominican Americans. That's stupid. That's stupid. I am American, and I'm here to represent people, which is what you should be doing. I really wish you would just resign already. I wish you would resign because you're not helping anything. You're not helping the situation. Now, we're not winning. We're not winning in any of these. We're losing our souls. We're cheering for demons. We're cheering for the left demon or the right demon, and evil is evil no matter what. There is no lesser of two evils. There's one at this point is prevailing, and Americans are losing their souls. We, the people, are losing our souls. When you talk about working together, let's work together to get these clowns out of office in the midterms. Let's work together to get candidates, find candidates, support candidates, donate to candidates that want to make America great, not anywhere else. Don't want to keep empire building. We just want America to be an amazing country that works for the people that are working for it. And the whole reason I'm saying this is because Trump is just having the saddest, most lackluster second term that I think I've seen ever. You know, one of the things that just bother me with Trump and always have is the constant ego stroking. We constantly have to hear about how amazing he is, how everything he's doing is the best ever and the most glamorous and the most. Like, I know that your dad didn't love you. I get it. Your dad didn't love you. There's no way he could have. There's no way your dad said anything nice to you your entire life because you're constantly talking to us. If you were this trying to get his father to say good job. And what's even crazier is you're constantly putting your name on shit that nobody's to put your name on. Nobody. So one of the things, that I'll call out here because I made a little slide because I really wanted to kind of see everything in one view. Let me actually pull it up because I can't see it's so small on here. So let's talk about how in the first year we have now the Gulf of America. We have Mount McKinley back. It's no longer, nobody cared. Nobody cared. I could care less about any of the Civil War statues being put back out. I don't think they should have been taken down. American history is American history. The South has a story to tell, regardless of how disgusting and ugly slavery was in the Civil War. They do have a story to tell. They are part of this country. I don't understand removing the statues. But okay, we renamed the U.S. Institute of Peace after Trump. Rebranded military bases with similar names to turned the White House into a luxury ballroom, has accepted hundreds of millions of dollars from tech companies that we know are going to ask for favors, but we're going to have a ballroom, guys. Data centers in your nearest city and a ballroom for all of you peasants to never get to dance in. But it'll be like glorious and glamorous and a lot of gold everywhere, like a tacky, 5-year-old grandmother wearing every piece of jewelry she ever received. And yeah, we now have Department of War instead of the Department of Defense. Hegseth thought of that himself. It makes him feel prettier. And yeah, man, so that's kind of what we're dealing with, right? So a lot of symbolic distraction. But what we don't have is any deep state arrest, not one deep state arrest. We had James Comey, but because Lindsay Halligan is literally just pretty, like an 80s remake of what Beauty is, she got tossed. Haba had to step down, and now Lindsay Halligan also has to step down. So Trump can't even appoint people. He can't even appoint people, and I want to call this out. Okay, we had and removed Martin Luther King Jr. Day from the National Parks holidays, and we removed. When people say that Trump's not racist, interesting choice of 2 holidays that you chose to take off that people got in for free, and people are off federally. And what better thing to do on MLK Jr. Day than maybe go to a park? Okay. But he did add his birthday and another day, but the joke here is that his birthday is the 4th of July, so like he didn't just like give himself a national holiday at the parks. It's his birthday. It's also very cool. It's kind of prophetic for Donald Trump to be born on the 4th of July. I think it's funny. It's like you see him actively destroying every single institution that we have, highlighting every legal loophole, showing our enemies and the next dictator how they can really screw us over. And it feels like a dismantling of the United States piece by piece. The Democrats started it. So let's not act like anybody's innocent here. But Trump was a Democrat for his whole life. So it makes sense that the guy who changed parties to then infiltrate the spineless party is now destroying the Republican Party to the point of like no resemblance to what we thought they were. The Democrats already destroyed themselves by propping up a dead man for 4 years. What do we have left after this, y'all? Is it America First Party? Is it We the People Party? It cannot be Trump. It cannot be Pretty Boy Vance. Vance is showing to be a little more of a dictator than Trump himself, because Vance doesn't actually care like him. Trump needs operation. Trump needs the vote. Vance doesn't. I genuinely think Vance is going to be 100 times worse. And he already shows that he thinks he's in charge as of now. He's scared. I put that on the record almost every single episode. Now, we get to the real one. We were not supposed to have any wars. Oh, wait, let me not do that. Apology. So once again, the saddest thing about this term is really our inability to do anything. It feels like a lame duck presidency. And I do think that it's kind of interesting to see how little has been done. Right? All of these executive orders, not one has been codified. We haven't had one deep state arrest. Pam Bondi is looking like a deep state asset. It's an interesting one, but what I think is funny is that Trump seems to know what is going on, and they actually caught him on a hot mic in the White House going in. So I'm going to share that because I think this was crazy. And again, we're living in the age of social media, so you're going to see we see so much more now than we ever have before. Like it's no wonder there's such a tension in the world. It's because we are informed now. We're no longer the generations that were propagandized to the point of hating themselves. You know what it is right now to be cheering for Republicans and cheering the downfall of the Democratic Party and the Democrat voters? You are literally cheering for your own ship to sink. Your own ship. Now, 20% of this country is probably fringe liberal, and 20% of this country is probably fringe far right, hateful. But that's 60% of us. We can come together and we can either regulate on them or they get ostracized organically, not because we're canceling them. No, you have a platform, you have your voice, it's freedom of speech. This is America. I don't have to invite you to my house. I don't like you. I don't have to. I want to surround myself with like-minded people. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to put you in prison. I just don't need to associate with you. And there's 60% more. There are more people in this country that want to see things fixed on a common sense level and not just win, not just for my team. There's so many concessions I'll make to see this country function again. Is everybody on the same page as me? What concession would you make so that this country can function the way it's supposed to for the people, to bring the American dream back, not the American lie? So, do a quick one again. I'm so bad at sharing screen, but watch this one. This is crazy.
Hey, Jeff, you know I cannot appoint anybody. Huh? I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I've appointed, their time is expired. And then they're in default. And then we're losing.
So imagine that. Can you imagine being the president of the United States? Your hand-picked cabinet has not gotten anything done for you. Nothing. Not one. Everything that you've run on. Not one codified executive order. This administration is a lame duck because the deep state is in charge. The deep state stays in charge. And we keep voting in bad actors. We don't vote in good people. Because see, with Trump, you could tell yourself, at least, hey, he's a businessman. That's what I told myself. In business, we don't always have the best moral compass. We follow process and all of that, right? Well, that doesn't work when you're dealing with people and actual human emotion. So I just think we were all wrong. I think we were all wrong. And then it's not just about, everything is about me. Everything is about me. We have to get to a point in America where we stop voting for senile people. I am at a point now where not only do we need term limits on stock trading, but if you are over the age of 65, you cannot be anymore. I'm sorry. Retire. Retire. Get out of office. Let go of power. My God. Because the way that you see these people just dying in office, we are electing our second senile president. And if we don't think, oh, he's not senile, Trump is sharper than ever. How? How is Trump sharper than ever? Somebody explain that to me. Because when I go through this man's social media, I see an unhinged grandfather who needs to be put in an institution, needs to be shut up. But instead, he's running our country. He's invading foreign countries and removing their leader under the guise of fentanyl. And then they're so stupid that they're filing paperwork saying that it's cocaine. They made up an entire cartel. They had to come out and admit that it's not a cartel. It's a slang term for leaders who are involved in drug trafficking. All right. And this is all related to Maduro capture, but I'll go more on that in a second. Go ahead and share my screen one more time. Do like a quick stroll through. I joined X because I really wanted to see what like all of this, like, the hubbub was about, seeing your leaders and things talking. And honestly, it's been like the worst thing ever because this man is not like, he doesn't live in the like at all. Merry Christmas to all, including the radical left scum. Okay. That is doing everything possible to destroy our country, but failing badly. We no longer have open borders, men and women's sports, weak law enforcement, record stock markets, which again, who's that benefiting, guys? Who's that benefiting? Lowest crime numbers in decades. Thank you. That's awesome. No inflation. The steak I bought last year for $30 is $58, right? We have no inflation, guys. Again, you're literally being lied to. Being lied to, but it's okay because this asshole said. Right? But when the other ones say it, we're mad. You know they all suck. They're all evil. They don't care about you. And this is a special message to MAGA. MAGA. Bring that energy that you had when you voted this man in. Bring that energy when you address his betrayal. Because he's betrayed every single thing that you voted for. And I have so much love for some of these MAGA people out there because I know that it's not because you're racist and ignorant. No, no, no. You genuinely want what's best for this country. And you saw somebody who was different and you voted. But he's protecting pedophiles. That means you are complicit in that. You voted for that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I will not back down off this. Our children are not safe. Women are not safe. Young men are not safe. These elitists think that they own us. And you're over here defending one of them because he told you that he wasn't one of them. So, just a really shitty second term. This has been a really shitty term. It is embarrassing. So asking people to vote. And what I do like this, I do like that. Yeah, you still have his like sycophantic supporters, right? But then Americans are not. We're not anymore. 1,000 ways to hide the Epstein files because we know that's what you're doing, dude. You don't care. You don't care to expose anything. You are covering up for people, or maybe you're using the information to get them to vote the way you want them to. I don't know. I don't care. I want to see all of them arrested. That's it. Drag them out of their houses into the street, public trials, bring back public executions. That's where I don't care who you are. I don't care what party you belong to. You think that this world is a free for all, that it's your playground, that you're not going to be held to any moral, ethical standards? No, sir. Negative. I want nothing to do with you. And I don't care about it. I'm so tired of defending people's feelings or watching what I say so that I don't offend you. And so that the people that I care about, they can feel like, oh, I'm not judging them. No, no, no. I'm not judging them. It's not my place. Only God can judge. But I'm no longer going to hold my tongue. If you are currently a Trump supporter, you are complicit in the covering up of pedophilia. That's it. Mother of 4. The kids are off. We could argue about everything else. We can negotiate on everything else. We'll never negotiate with pedophiles. I will never argue with people who think that it is okay to rape and plunder and abuse those that they think are beneath them. Miss me with that. Rot in hell. God save us all. Now, to wrap up, I'm going to do a whole series, a whole episode on Trump's first year in and break down every month presidency. But let's say that January of 2026, we started with capturing Nicolas Maduro. Now, Nicolas Maduro is not a good person. And honestly, Venezuela themselves should have taken him out a long time ago. But instead, Trump went in there in the middle of the night, killed about, what they say, like 30 people, and removed him. Okay. So we removed him. And we said that we have a legal right to do that. We don't. We said that we're going to control all of their oil. We're not at war with the country that we just removed their government. We removed the president. The government's still in place. Right? The vice president stepped in. Bam. Okay. This is your no new wars president. There are people that defend that America is an empire and that we need to keep it. There are people in this country who think because they were born on this land that they are better than everybody else and that they have a right to do that. Now, tell me the irony of being a Christian nation who treats others as if they are. There's nothing Christian about that. America needs to find her soul. It's not going to be through a demon like Joe Biden. It's not going to be through a self-serving egomaniac devil incarnate like Donald Trump. It's not going to happen through any of these people. It's going to happen through us, through we the people, through how we speak to each other, through how we address each other. I have been so guilty of this in my life, of being reactive, of being angry, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be angry. I want to be reactive. I want to be very pensive in how I'm going to approach something, and then I want to approach it strategically, including this conversation that I'm having to followers, strangers, people that are just interested in having a conversation about your country. You may not love the way your country is right now, but I hope that we can find a place where we can live the idea of the country that we are going to build. Because believe it or not, we are going to build something amazing. God is on our side. The enlightening, the eye-opening, everybody coming to this realization that we are living in a simulation. The veil being lifted off of our eyes, that is God. That is God. We are in for a wild ride. I do not envy those who maybe don't have to go through this and they get to go to the kingdom on their own. But there's a reason we are all here on earth at this time. Really believe that. And I'm kind of grateful that we're all here together. But God willing, please God, we will all come out better on the other side. And there will be way less. The devil will always be in place because unfortunately you need evil to have good. But there will be so much less of his influence. And even if it's a brief period of time in humanity, we will have peace again. And we will have a world that serves the masses, not the few, and not the God has not forgotten about us. For a second, they do. He made this non-believer finally embrace it and feel it, and I feel it to my core. He has not forgotten about us. But we are in a period of grace, and this period is ending. He never forgot about us, but he wanted us to be able to live our life of our own free will and make our mistakes. And man, we are living in the essence of centuries of errors and mistakes. If you expect him to save us without any of us lifting a finger, then you are wrong. We will all be that guy in the ocean that dies or drowns, even though God sent 10 people to save him individually. And all along, he was able to be lifted. There is nobody coming to save us. We will not be lifted out of it. We are going to have to do the work, and it starts with us individually as a country, as a people. So, guys, get informed, form community, learn how to be more natural, one with the land. Stop relying on all these businesses to keep you and your family alive. We are sitting ducks. If shit goes down, we are sitting ducks. Learn how to shoot, learn how to defend yourself, learn the basics of gun safety so that you're not a liability. If your kids are old enough, teach them how to shoot so that they can protect themselves if God forbid something happens to us. We have to prepare our children for the future. We have to prepare our children for every single eventuality. There's a reason we are all on this time, but we have no idea which generation is the one that lead the charge. I have a feeling it'll be our kids. Prepare them now. Get their mind, educate them, understand the earth, understand how to grow, how to hunt. Watching my son fish and clean his fur was amazing, and his joy at it, how natural he felt he was, as opposed to scared or disgusted like it's in us. We're just so far detached from our natural selves. We need to get back there. And hopefully in getting back there, we get back to God. We get back to what our true purpose is on this earth. So be resourceful, stand for what's right, Now is not the time to go into the devil's temptation. Now is not the time to amass all the material crap that you can. Now is the time for paying off debt, getting solid, stable, and learning how to survive without all of this, without all the trappings of modern life. The cavemen survived so we could get here. We need to go a little bit back to center. Maybe it's time. I want to end with this. I'm not calling for anything, and I'm not saying that anything is truly coming. But I will say, if you haven't watched Kingdom of Heaven, the movie, it's a really good movie. I truly enjoyed it. And I would recommend. I like the oath that Liam Neeson makes Orlando take. And I actually would implore all Christians to watch this movie to remember there is a reason why Christians are persecuted all over the world. And it is because we don't stand with man, we stand with God. And when man is unethical and immoral, they are not legitimate. We are not forced to follow them. But Christians have become weak. Christians have become moldable. Christians want people to like them as opposed to being righteous. You can have sympathy and still not agree or condone what somebody's doing. But we want everyone to love us. And I'm sorry, being honest is normally not the most popular thing out there. People don't want to tell the truth. But we have become cowards. And we have become weak. And I really hope in 2026 that we find our strength again, and that you all find the Lord, and that we can get to a place where we are working for the commonality of the people of this country. Because if you really look at it, not white Christian nationalism that is completely contradictory, nor Judeo-Christianity, which again is an oxymoron and heretical and disgusting to say. They are two separate religions. They exist separately. Both have a right to exist. But we are supposed to be strong, and we are supposed to understand morality and be righteous, not self-righteous, but righteous. And as of now, we are cowards. We are so worried what left and right, up and down, what everybody thinks about us, that we forgot what he thinks about us. So I'm going to end today with this clip because and it is a really good movie.
Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright, that God may love thee. Speak the truth, always, even if it leads to your death. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. That is your oath. And that's so you remember it.
Arise, night, and Baron of Evelyn.
So that's how I'll end it. Welcome to 2026, y'all. It's going to be a very different year than the ones that we've lived through before. You don't feel it? Be ready. It's not a gloom or doom. It's not a this, but there is change coming to the world as a whole. Most times change comes with upheaval. Rarely is change a smooth and peaceful process. But God, please protect us. Please protect the innocent. And please swiftly handle those that are evil and want to do us harm. God bless you all. See you next week.